Hi everyone, my name is Russian Adam. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to discuss animalic musk collection in depth. First of all, I wanted to go into our presentation and explain the meaning behind it. Beautifully decorated letters at our boxes represent the name of a fragrance. Opening a box is just like opening an old book that also begins with these marvelous letters, containing many mesmerizing, marvelous stories and tales within. Paradise Soil is the first fragrance I would love to discuss, and it is obviously all about musk. Musk in its pure, authentic, natural form, the most precious, the most rare animalic ingredient. In this composition, I combined Siberian musk with the vintage musk of various regions, just as I mentioned in the previous video. Siberian musk is well known for its very raw animalic character. Perhaps it has to do something with the environment that Siberian deer is living in. Perhaps the aroma has to be more powerful in order to spread across Siberian forest because the temperatures there are extremely low. It might be one of the reasons that Siberian musk is known to be one of the most pungent animalic type of materials. On the other hand, we have very old vintage musk of various regions. These types of musk are known for their very smooth, refined character, and it's very powdery, almost chocolatey like sweetness. So I combine those two to really give you the whole picture of musk. Musk can be many different things, just as oud. It can be extremely animalic, it can be powdery, it can be bloody, it can be, I don't know, even pissy, but the main features of it are extremely pleasant features: chocolatey, sweetness, and as I mentioned in the previous video, even its chypra type of character with a lot of foresty, earthy, woody, even mossy type of notes. So this musk is the main star of the fragrance. It is further decorated with a beautiful bouquet of floral notes that contain some of the very rare precious materials, such as rose oil from Azerbaijan that is over 50 years old Cambodian oud, and lots of sandalwood. Ambergris. I think ambergris is the second most precious, most rare material. It is extremely mysterious and extremely valuable, and indeed its contribution to any fragrance is tremendous. As I mentioned in the previous video, mostly it is used to give this 3D effect to a fragrance and to uplift all other ingredients used in it. So for ambergris fragrance, I used sandalwood in combination with the various tinctures of ambergris. The thing is with ambergris that different concentration tinctures of ambergris giving you a different picture of ambergris. It put emphasis on different facets of the same material that you are using in the tincture. For example, 10% tincture of ambergris smells nothing like 5% tincture of ambergris. Or if we're looking at resinoid of ambergris, this is 100% pure concentrate of ambergris. So all of them, even if made from the same piece of ambergris, smell completely different and showcase different facets of ambergris, all of which are extremely beautiful. We are talking about obviously white, highest quality ambergris that is extremely refined, and it has almost no animalic facets to it. All the animalic notes being evaporated through the process of its oxidation and aging. So I utilized in the ambergris fragrance, which called creme de la creme, the most creamy sandalwood and the most refined tinctures and resinoid of ambergris. I again combined different tinctures presenting different facets of ambergris. There is a 5% tincture of ambergris in this fragrance, 10% tincture of the ambergris, and then the most highly concentrated, the most powerful ambergris extract, which is ambergris resinoid. Ambergris resinoid placed at the top of this fragrance, and this resinoid truly inspired me in so many different ways. When I smelled it first, I couldn't really believe it was pure ambergris resinoid because it was completely clean type of a smell, meaning there were absolutely zero fecal, zero barnyard type of notes. However, it was extremely refined and full of tobacco-like earthy type of notes with the mixture of slight breezy character and lots of very soft resinous type of notes. So I was truly blown away and extremely satisfied by this particular resinoid. So I decided that it has to go to the top of this fragrance, and then it was further highlighted with the tobacco absolute, various spices, obviously very creamy, very rich sandalwood. And there is this resinous quality to this resinoid that I mentioned that was truly unmatchable. I find it present only in the highest quality, very old, ancient type of agarwood extracts. So for this very reason, I utilized very old, ancient, sinking Filipino agarwood extract in the top of this fragrance, together in combination with this marvelous ambergris resinoid. So the result is quite minimalistic. There are certain floral nuances in the fragrance, certain spicy nuances, but volume of those turned down, and the ambergris and sandalwood with the touches of wood brought up. So I believe that some of the most beautiful facets of ambergris are very well presented in this fragrance. It is completely clean, refined, very resinous, tobacco-like, slightly spicy type of a smell. In this composition, white refined ambergris presented in its full glory. I didn't add many floral notes, I didn't add much of the spices. There are just small hints here and there, and most of the ingredients truly highlighting the ambergris, bringing it up from the bottom, from the base notes to the heart, to the top notes of the fragrance. Instead of ambergris acting as an enhancer to other notes, here it's truly the star of the show. Purities. This is a leather fragrance featuring different beaver extracts. Again, I combined several extracts from a beaver in order to give a full picture of this animalic leather, because beaver in a fragrance, any type of beaver extracts normally used as a part of a leather accord, because naturally it is extremely leathery, it is extremely sensual. I combined very old aged castoreum tincture. It's been co-tinctured together with vanilla, orris root and few other ingredients in order to uplift its sweet and powdery nuances. So the leather here from the castoreum tincture is extremely refined, is slightly sweetened with the natural smell of vanilla beans, and is slightly powdery from the orris. And I added extract of beaver tail, which is like the most wild type of leather animalic ingredient you can imagine. As I mentioned in my previous videos, it is like 10-20 times the strength of a castoreum. It is extremely dirty animalic leather with the nuances of very fermented, very classical Indian wood. So I combined those two leathery animalic ingredients and further highlighted their smoky nuances with the very rare antique tar oil, which I believe to be over 100 years old. I also added a floral note, which is extremely masculine, and I believe the only floral note that contains this leathery facets as well, and it is no other than osmanthus. So we have osmanthus on the top, birch tar, which is, by the way, rectified variety. It can be applied on the skin, unlike the one we used in Cure d'Arossi edition previously. So this is all about leather, really. Very refined animalic type of leather with a masculine floral note to it. Royal Barn is a civet based fragrance. It is one of my personal favorites from the collection. I try my best to showcase all the features of civet that it has to offer. Civet can be extremely refined, can be extremely pungent and animalic. And obviously aged civet can be experienced in Civet de Nuit fragrance, and pungent animalic civet is something that most of you are familiar with. So I combined those two. I combined fresh Ethiopian civet and very old aged refined type of a civet paste. Both offer extremely different experience, and them coming together creating a very complete picture of what civet really can offer. Talking about fresh Ethiopian civet, a funny story comes to mind that one of the old traditions in Ethiopia is to apply raw civet paste all over your body before your first wedding night. I asked my dear friend from Ethiopia, he said it is no longer practiced. It was probably extremely sensual type of experience. So applying this fragrance may become a little bit close to this type of ritual. It is all about civet, extremely pungent, animalic at the top, and then immediately you get this very refined, aged type of civet smell that reminds you of antique furniture. Inspiration of this fragrance came from one of the Ramsey videos, and I was thinking about these luxurious palaces back in the past, during the time when those were located in rural areas surrounded by the barn. So you have these luxurious palaces with all these marvelous flowers and cosmetics that people started to use, yet they were still surrounded by this barnyard full of animals, horses, cows, and so on. This amazing combination of countryside and royal palaces really inspired me to create this composition. Countryside with its wild nature represented in this fragrance by Hay Absolute and lots of animalic civet. There is the royal type of a feel created by a co-distillation of various flowers. Skunk. Skunk is perhaps one of the most controversial animalic ingredients. I believe the reason is because normally animalic ingredients tend to attract the opposite gender. Skunk is the opposite. It is a repellent. It was indeed a big challenge in order to make it wearable, to make it likable, and I achieved this by combining skunk with various floral notes. Those floral notes I selected had this animalic facet to them, but they were also extremely pleasant. One of such flowers is a hemp flower. Very unique, very costly material that I'm using first time. It also has this repellent nature to it, and behind this spicy skunk there is a beautiful floral character. I'm extremely happy to share with you this animalic musk collection. Pre-order will take place within 2 weeks. Full sets will be available for pre-order together with mini sets. Release of individual bottles will be available after around 2 weeks from pre-order. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good time and take care. Bye.